weather questions in the comments section. And thanks for joining us here on our Tuesday afternoon. We appreciate you joining us today. Now, we have had some technical difficulties getting the broadcast up today, so we're coming on a little bit late. Because of that, I'm going to check my mic. Let's hear it. I think that you guys can hear it. So let's go ahead and get started. Put your questions and your comments in the comments section, and we will go ahead and answer any of those weather questions that you have today for your forecast. But let's go ahead and get started with your heat headlines today. Heat warnings galore. Dangerous heat rises across the central portion of the U.S. where your feel-like temperature could be up to 115 degrees. That's insane. That is very, very hot for many of us across the U.S. I think we have almost 60 million people in those heat warnings today. Now, another factor, another portion of our forecast today is that severe weather risk. Now we have a chance for strong to severe storms across the high plains today. Tornadoes and hail and high wind are going to be your big forecast, your big hazards today. And then down to the south, we do have a Texas fire concern. From flooding to fires, man, Texas cannot get a break. That concern goes anywhere from the central to the western portion of the state, including big cities like San Antonio and Austin. Alrighty, let's move just directly into what we saw yesterday. Now the main storm risk was up to the north, but we really did see storm reports across most of the U.S. We saw those high wind reports down to the south and east, even a few hail reports in the northern side of Kansas, and a few wind reports farther out to the west. So a lot of people got storms yesterday, including Oklahoma. I don't think we were in the storm risk yesterday, but Oklahoma storms will surprise you. The main group of storms was farther up to the north in North and South Dakota. And that's where we focus our attention again today as well. We have a low pressure sitting up in this area and a very slow moving stationary front. Off to the east, we have this warm front that's not only bringing those warm temperatures, making it feel just hot and humid for so many people, but also helping to fuel storms later on this afternoon and evening. Moving on to your current storms, we're pretty dry across the East Coast. And hey, if you're across the East Coast, enjoy your nice weather right now because you have warm temperatures coming over the next few days. We've got a few showers off the coast of Florida right here. A few showers in northern Kansas, very similar to yesterday. But again, the bulk of that moisture that we're really watching for today is going to be up in North and South Dakota. Temperatures, it's warm out there. HailTrace employees like to go for walks around our area. We've got a gorgeous place here in Edmond, and we like to go for walks, and everyone who comes in, I see them, you know who just came in from a walk because they're like, it's hot out there. They're sweating. Yeah, it's toasty today. 90 degrees in Oklahoma City, 87 in Kansas City right now. You go farther up to the north, there's your storms. So it's a slight risk today, a level 2 highlighted there in yellow. Tomorrow, we pivot just a little bit to the east. Again, this is a slow moving system, but we also have a risk down in Denver. Yes, we have a marginal risk down in Denver. This is a classic setup where we like to say, don't discredit a marginal risk. Don't say, oh, it's just a marginal risk. Don't underestimate it. We could absolutely get some strong storms in Denver tomorrow and Chicago on Thursday. So we have a very active work week where a lot of these big cities could get hit. Minneapolis today, Denver tomorrow, Chicago on Thursday. Let's go to your heat watches and warnings right now. Highlighted there in pink, a red flag warning for the western portion of the U.S. where we do have that fire danger. We've got a heat advisory highlighted there in orange, extreme heat warning and extreme heat watch that goes not only for today but also a portion of Thursday as well. Just a little reminder here that we do have, we've changed the wording for our extreme heat warnings. Yeah, last year, excessive heat warning. This year, extreme heat warning. So basically the same thing, it's a little different, but the biggest thing that you're gonna notice is going to be that wording, extreme heat instead of excessive. Alrighty, moving on here, no more semantics. Let's get right into the hazards for today. Hail hazard here. Where is the largest hailstone expected to fall? We're watching for those yellow and orange colors in here, and I think that I had highlighted southern portion of North Dakota, the eastern portion of Montana, all the way into the northern portion of South Dakota. Now, I know that's a lot of directions. You don't have to remember that. I'll show you a map here in just a minute. What is the largest hail size for today? I went up to baseball size hail. Do I think that So moving your hail forecast, I told you didn't have to remember the directions. I would show that to you. Highlighted here in red is your largest hailstones. So we're expecting the largest hailstones to fall anywhere from Billings to Sheridan to Rapid City today. As you move off to the east, you're going to have some scattered showers and storms, and then you're going to have more storms into the overnight hours into places like Fargo, Aberdeen, and Minneapolis. Minneapolis is included in the hail risk both today and tomorrow, and we could see up to golf ball size hail in this area. I kept it in the low risk, that risk highlighted there in green for hail today, but you could also see a few tornadoes. And again, that tornado risk also highlighted here in green. That tornado risk also stretches down into places like central Iowa. Central Iowa, right in the middle, and northern, one more time. The northern portion of the state as well, we could see a few tornadoes. Now we'll get to your timeline here in just a minute. It's a level 1 risk, but again, a few tornadoes are possible today. We were just noting that's a pretty widespread area for this tornado risk today. Let's move on to the wind risk here. Your wind risk includes Billings all the way down to Rapid City, even including a portion of Colorado and Kansas in this wind risk. Again, I think the better chance for high wind will be from Rapid City to Alliance and then into North and South Dakota. We also have another chance for high winds farther down to the south and east, where we do have some scattered showers and storms that will produce a flooding risk in this area and maybe 60 to 70 mile per hour wind speeds. Now let's get into the timeline. And as I look on my screen over here, do I have any questions? Vic, you're looking ahead tomorrow. Any hail in Denver? I do have a Denver forecast for tomorrow, so give us just a few minutes and we'll get to your Wednesday forecast. We've got questions about Omaha. Now I think, isn't Omaha just slightly out of the risk here? Yeah, just barely out of the risk. Des Moines is in the risk, but Omaha is out. Now they may be in the risk for tomorrow, so we'll get to your Wednesday forecast here in just a minute. Let's get through today first. Here's your timeline for today. Looking at your, really zooming out here, looking at your national view, you've got a good portion of the country that's getting rain today. But as we zoom in to the northern portion of the U.S., this is really where we're watching for the strongest storms today. Many of these going severe as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. You're going to start to see isolated storms in the central portion of Montana this evening. This, again, will produce several tornadoes. You could also see some large hail. I think that these first few initial storms, those will be your hailers. Then as we head into the evening and overnight hours, that's whenever you're going to start to see more scattered showers and storms, so a widespread area of rain. Still a few tornadoes are possible here, but I do think that we shift more into that wind risk, which is why we kept some of those eastern communities as a lower hail threat. Again, taking a look at your Minneapolis forecast here, the main chance for storms will be 9 p.m. to the overnight hours. Could you get an isolated storm before 9 o'clock? Yes, that's possible. It'll be mainly out to the west. That'll be a better chance for your storm zone out to the west. Your max hail size today, I said golf ball. I think that is a very low chance to get golf ball size hail. You're going to have a better chance for 1-inch size hail today. And are we going into Denver next? We're going into Denver next. Oh, this is for your wind today. So let's talk about Chicago wind today, and then we'll talk about hail tomorrow. Tuesday wind, yeah, you could see some isolated to scattered showers and storms right around that Colorado, Kansas, Colorado, Nebraska state line. The farther north that you go, the stronger these storms will be. The farther south that you go, the weaker and more likely you are to get a high wind risk. Still Denver, you could get some rain, but the likelihood of that going severe today is a very low risk. Now tomorrow, that's a totally different story. I do think that we have a pretty decent hail risk tomorrow. And let's take a look at that. Here's your risk for tomorrow, not only including Minneapolis, but also going as far south as central Colorado. So where do I go? Okay, I start with Minneapolis, then we'll go down into Denver. Showers and storms will start early tomorrow morning. I think that you guys have had an early morning storm and a late evening storm just over and over and over. Most of your daytime hour is dry. However, the mornings and the evenings have been very stormy. That's exactly what you'll see tomorrow, where you start out with those showers and storms in the morning, and then you could get another round of strong to severe storms later on in the afternoon and evening hours as well. Now let's go down to Colorado. There we go. So what you're going to see here is you're going to see storms forming just to the west of I-25, a very classic setup. You're going to see these storms right around 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There you go. You've got maybe an isolated storm or two near Cheyenne, isolated storm near Denver, or just to the west of Denver. These storms are likely to intensify as we move into the evening hours and produce that large hail. How large is the hail? I would say right now maybe 2 inches, maybe up to the size of a tennis ball. Now that'll be pretty isolated, okay? So maybe that falls in between Cheyenne and Denver. We'll have to see. I think that models tomorrow are going to give us a lot more information on those specific risks. But today we do know the timeline. We're expecting those storms between about 2 and 7 o'clock tomorrow. There's your timeline. Afternoon and evening storms, very typical for this time of the year. Great question. Am I missing any questions today? Maggie says, nice fit. Thank you. I feel like it's very springy with all of these flowers today. And we need that springtime weather, right? I mean, it's hot out there. The summertime weather, this is not for me. I love getting out to the pool, but this is excessive. This is too hot. I think that a lot of people will share that sentiment, and unfortunately, it just gets hotter. A lot of those heat watches that we have in place today will turn into heat warnings for tomorrow as temperatures climb above average for this time of the year through a good portion of the Midwest and through the central portion of the U.S. We just continue to see these temperatures climb in places like New England, off to the East Coast here, all the way down into Texas. So temperatures are likely to stay above average by about 5, 10, 15, 20 degrees as we head into the next few days. What are we talking about here? We're talking about mid-upper 90s. Factor in the humidity, it feels like 100, 105, 110. I think it's absolutely possible to get a feel-like temperature up to 115. And how long is this going to stick around for? Unfortunately, for quite some time, not only this week, but also next week as well. As we head into the end of July, July 27th through the 31st, we are still likely to be above average for most of the U.S. The only people that are exempt from this is along the West Coast, where temperatures will be just about normal for this time of the year. Another thing that we're concerned about here, we have to keep an eye on how much rain that we're getting, because the lack of rain, especially out to the west, where temperatures are often the hottest and we have very dry conditions in this area, will lead to a fire concern. So we are likely to see that fire concern continue as we head into the end of July. Now, farther up to the north, you may stay out of that fire concern as you do have a likelihood of above average rainfall for this time of the year. And there's your forecast. Have I missed any questions? Vic said, hoping that you're right for Denver Central. We nailed the forecast several days last week. You know, meteorologists are going to get it wrong every now and then. That's just going to happen. But we did do a great job of nailing the Kansas City forecast last week, and there was another city in there too that we did a really good job on. So here's to hoping that we can get that Denver forecast right for tomorrow as well. We'll be talking about it more tomorrow, and I'll try to update you guys as we get more information throughout today on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. We are also pretty active on YouTube and TikTok, so go ahead and follow us on all of these social media platforms. We not only talk about the forecast on there, but we also show pictures of storms and their hazards as that happens. So if we get some good hail pictures, we'll post that on our platforms. And give us a call if you're interested in a wind, hail, or tornado map. You can call us at 855-334-4245 or email us at info@hailtrace.com, or go ahead and head over to our website, hailtrace.com, for more information. All right, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for joining a little bit later in the day. Usually we're on right around noon Central Time, but today we had some technical difficulties, so we appreciate you guys bearing with us a little bit later in the day. All right, thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox. We'll see you back here, same time, same place tomorrow.